So if you want to use AI for your resume, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. First, there are some programs that offer to create a resume for you from scratch. So you literally just type in your work experience. It'll ask you some question about your contact info, your experience in volunteering, and then it'll give you a PDF or a Word document back and tell you to just upload it to jobs. I wouldn't suggest doing it that way. You can use it as a starting point, but take whatever it suggests and put it onto your own Word document because we don't know whatever they're creating, if it's going to have formatting issues or if it's going to sound robotic. We obviously don't want to make it obvious that, you didn't work on this yourself because we want to use AI more as a tool to help you instead of just doing everything for you. So go ahead and just open up whatever chat bot you like. That's what I would suggest you do. So I prefer using ChatGPT. So if you want to use that or Gemini, just pick one that's going to let you have a conversation with it. So let's start by asking what goes into a typical resume. And let's see if it spits back, some suggestions of sections that you could put on here. So it's telling me a header, summary, skills. And these are some good suggestions of what you can put onto a resume. And it's telling me some of these are, if applicable or optional, meaning not all of these have to go onto a resume. But let's say we wanted to know, hey, I want to know current trends in resumes. So are resumes supposed to be 1 or 2 pages? And let's see what it suggests here. The general rule of thumb is yes, 1 page is less than 10 years and 2 pages is more than 10 years, which I agree with. So if you had any questions about like, okay, should I include this? Or is this still popular? Can I still use this? You can use the AI bots because it's going to scour the internet and see what suggestions it can give you. So that's one way that you can use it just to get started of like, where do we go from here? Next, let's say we want to know how can I write some bullets for my job as a cashier at Jack in the Box. And let's see what it tells us here. Okay, so it's telling me, what bullets you can put onto here, and it's telling you, okay, so you provided customer service, process cash transactions, resolve customer complaints. Okay, so a lot of good suggestions. It is giving me 10. I don't suggest you put all of these on here. But what you can do is, let's say you're applying to a job in marketing, that's your next position, or reception, or you can look at this and see what can I keep from these suggestions that are going to be more relevant to that position. Or we can just say, can you shorten this list and only keep bullets that have to do with reception work? So let's see if it works with that. Okay, so now it's telling us, related to reception duties because that's what we're applying to. There you go. So now it gave me 5 bullets that I can possibly keep onto my resume. So that's when we could start using it. We also want to see, okay, here, maybe these are still a little bit too robotic, so we're not just going to copy paste them word for word, but we can use these and start typing them into our actual Word document and see what we can keep from them. Let's say you already have a resume and you just want to ask it more like, okay, are these bullets exactly what should go onto here? So let's say this is my resume and I want to ask it instead, can you improve these bullets and add more information? So I'm going to paste the ones that we have now, and then it's going to give me suggestions of what we can do. Again, you do want to double check these, read what it suggests because it's going to give you, things that you can mention. So let's say it's telling me here that I'm streamlining operational procedures, contribute to overall efficiency, supporting cost control initiatives. And I read through all of these and I realize, okay, wait, that's not something that I actually did. Maybe your typical intern for the front desk might do that, but that's not something I did. I was just doing what I was told, but I wasn't really working on cost control initiatives. Okay, so that's why I keep saying don't copy paste this because if you do, and at an interview they ask you, okay, can you tell us more about those cost control initiatives, and you don't know what to say, that's why we want to check these before we transfer them over. But let's say, for example, I'm just going to keep the first 4 and I already did all my work and I read through and like edited them. Now I can transfer them onto my bullets and then I can use these to like actually apply to a job. But let's take it a step further. Let's say you do have a job that you're trying to apply for. So I want to apply for the student worker position at the clinical business office. And what it has here is the job duties for this position. And here are some keywords that like I should be including onto my resume. So Excel spreadsheet, detail oriented, but I don't want to do that myself. I just want the AI to do it for me. So I'm going to copy this back into our AI and I'm going to ask, can you tell me what keywords from this job description should go onto my resume? And let's see how well of a job it does at pulling those keywords out. All right, perfect. So it is giving me some suggestions of, hey, if you're applying to this job, these are some of the keywords that you can put onto your resume. So I read through these and I say, okay, these are some things that I have. But let's say, for example, I don't have a ton of research experience. Obviously, I'm not going to put that onto my resume. So you can first tell it, let's say, oh, can you include, one, two, three, four, five, mention them into the bullets. But I'm a little lazy, so I'm going to say instead, let's copy this back. Can you update these bullets and include some of the keywords that are listed on this job description? And let's see how well of a job it does with that. All right, so now it's taking some of the things that were mentioned in that job description and throwing them back on here. So it's kind of hard to see, but it is highlighting them. So if you're applying to this job, now you're using the keywords within your job posting. And again, I can highlight this and then paste it back and then edit it from there to see what I want to keep from it. Because what I just did was create a resume that's a little bit more tailored to the position that I'm applying for. And then just makes it so that when they use their AI that's going to scan my resume, they're going to see that they have a job description, I have a resume, and with those keywords, I have a lot more matches within the two, which means my resume is probably just going to move up to the top of the list a little bit more and just make it more likely for me to get an interview. And that's really the extent of how I suggest you use AI. Again, I don't recommend you just let it do everything for you, but it is a good place to start. Just use it like you would use a dictionary. It's just giving you suggestions, or a thesaurus telling you like, okay, you can use this, but you're the person that's going to be reading this, and you do want to give it a personal touch of how would I actually say this. And if you need a second view, ask a friend. If you are a student, you can come talk to us in career services, talk to a career coach, a professional in the field, just so they can tell you, okay, so this is a good start, but this sounds very robotic, or I wouldn't include this. This might be exaggerating. Just because you do want to give it that human touch and make sure that it's still something that you can talk about during an interview.